Artists opposed to a proposed development on the shores of Lake Weyba are welcoming people to visit an exhibition that showcases the beauty of the area. The Arts on Weyba exhibition opened last night
Large-scale development is planned for the shores of Lake Weyba, and not everybody is happy about it. This development application could possibly be going before the council before the end of the year, and the Friends of Lake Weyba have rallied to have their say on the issue.
Bill Tainsh and his daughter Bianca for urban development. Since Colin Monk's family moved here in 1870, Lake Weyba's remained relatively untouched.
And why would you want to put a city in an area that's like this?
Development is planned. Just tell us a bit about the details for what is going to be happening on this piece of land and what size.
The development's called Noosa on Weyba, which is rather appropriate because they are basically planning to put Noosa on Weyba. It extends from the edge of Lake Weyba back inland for approximately 2.5 kilometres of pretty intense
Beginning with fallen branches gathered by the water, artist Elizabeth Poole has created these incredible cocoons. Her inspiration was Lake Weyba. The Arts on Weyba exhibition is drawing attention to the beauty of Lake Weyba, and a proposed development artists fear could damage it.
To me it feels like the death knell for this lake. That's how I feel about it.
The Mantle Group is submitting a development proposal for 876 dwellings between Iny Creek and the lake.
You don't want to let it slip, away too easily, that's for sure.
A controversial development proposed for almost 900 homes in the Lake Weyba catchment will be submitted to council next month. The area had been protected from urban development, but the former state government opened the door in a deal to transfer 140 hectares into national park. The only developments ever approved on the edge of Lake Weyba have been low-density eco-resorts.
The planning intent is that the environment's too valuable here to have urban development or anywhere near Lake Weyba.
Now urban development is proposed. This is the master plan for Noosa on Weyba to be submitted to council before Christmas. 876 dwellings, including retirement cottages, apartments, townhouses and residential lots from 6...
Imagine a pristine wilderness, a refuge for rare and endangered wildlife, a breathtaking and uninterrupted landscape, a place that has escaped time, reverberating with Indigenous history, teeming with new life and beauty.
Was paid off after Sunshine Coast councillors rejected a controversial Noosa on Weyba development. The $400 million proposal was launched on rural zone land bordering Lake Weyba.
After more than an hour of impassioned debate, the vote was 8 against 3. Residents celebrated after the Sunshine Coast Council rejected Noosa on Weyba, a proposal for up to 1,000 homes over 60 hectares bordering sensitive Lake Weyba.
Essentially, a good development, but in the wrong place.
I noticed you shedding a few tears.
Oh, it was such a joyful moment.
In a deal with the then Bligh Labor government, the Mantle Group agreed to donate 140 hectares of land to National Park. In return, it was allowed to submit the application on rural land that isn't zoned for urban development. Councillor Christian Dixon stood up for 5 years' work developing the town plan.
Not here for developers to be pushed around. It is a planning framework, it's a structure that we've developed with our community.
It's very refreshing to see that the councillors have taken notice of the advice from their expert staff and other advisors.
Greg Rogerson, Tim Dwyer and Mayor Mark Jamieson wanted the jobs it could bring.
Oh, look, I was elected on a mandate of economic development. People want stimulus for the economy.
Noosa Council's yet to vote on the controversial proposal, which straddles council boundaries, but legally the project now can't go ahead on the Sunshine Coast side.
When you come up with a really excellent proposal and it's knocked back, that's not a good message to send to the wider community.
Lake Weyba just breathed a massive sigh of relief, and I can just see a ripple of contentment going across the water.
Residents say it's a vote against urban sprawl. Jennifer Nichols, 7 News.
this is at stake. Development giant the Mantle Group have proposed a massive urban development. A development that will place over 1,000 new dwellings right in the middle of environmentally significant land. A fragile and remarkable ecosystem. Forever destroying an uninterrupted, sublime landscape. Putting endangered fauna and flora at risk.